And I start now.
I'd like to introduce Matthew Birch, the VP of Business Development for Birch Accounting and Tax Services. He holds the bookkeeping seat in Vienna Apex with a background in management accounting. Matthew has spent the majority of his career working in executive finance roles within a handful of large private and public companies. Through his experience in these roles, Matthew had learned that the overwhelming benefit a management accounting professional can provide to a business is to connect the operations and the finance of the organization, or in other words, telling the story of the business using both financial and operational observations. Today, Matthew offers the same insight to the small business community through the outsourced accounting department offered by Birch Accounting. But when not in the office, Matthew will often be found with one or more of his 5 kids watching their sports or encouraging their creative side. And something most people may not know, when he was 19 years old, he competed in the youth national finals for 5-pin bowling, ranking at 9th overall. So I'll pass it over to Matthew.
Well, thank you very much for the introduction, Kelly. I really appreciate that, and welcome everybody. And so today, what I'd like to talk about is some practical ways that your accounting system can make you money. So before I get too far into it, just some pictures of my family. Now, down here at the bottom, those aren't all my kids. My brother's 3 kids came along as well. We did a trip to the zoo in Calgary a couple weeks ago. And then a few other pictures just of family over the course of the last number of months here. This is the reason why I get up every day, to be able to do the work that I do, set a great example for them, let them know what's possible in life, and encourage them along the way to step outside of their comfort zone. So I want to make a statement here. I have this conversation whenever I start working with a new client, and you may agree with me, you may not agree with me, but I want to at least use this as a conversation starter. I believe that every business has both a right and a responsibility to earn a profit after paying market rates to the owner operator for the work that they do in the business. Now, there's 2 parts, and I'll briefly talk about each of those. So why does every business have a right to pay the owner operator market rates for the hours they do in the business? Well, 2 reasons come to mind quite easily for me. The equality of opportunity for the owner. So every individual has the opportunity to weigh what benefits, what opportunities they have. So a business owner could choose to work for himself, or he could choose to go work for somebody else. And if both opportunities are not equal, then why would they choose running a business over working for somebody else? If owning a business meant they'd pay themselves $20,000 a year, but they could make $100,000 working for someone else, why would they choose to be in business in the long run? The other is the ability to hire the best available candidate. Now, most of the time, that's the business owner that, we choose to hire the business owner because they're the ones actually with the passion for what they want to do. But as the business grows, sometimes we need to recognize that as a business owner, we can't be all things to the business, and we may have to hire additional help to continue to expand. Now, why does a business have the responsibility to pay the owner operator market rates for the hours they work in the business? Well, number one, uncompromising quality. If your business is built around providing quality of service that you don't want to compromise, then you need to pay yourself as the owner operator whatever the market rate is for that role, for a number of reasons. And, in particular, that might be, well, what happens if for one day you can't work in the business? Maybe you have a medical reason that takes you out of it. How are you going to replace you for that time so that the business continues to operate? What about long-term sustainability? The ability to continue to offer great service for many years into the future. And if as a business owner, you're working 60, 80 or more hours a week, How are you going to be a long-term sustainable business if your business isn't profitable paying you that rate? And then what about the ability to grow if demand increases? Because the more we grow, the more complexity the business has. That means more management, it means more administrative responsibilities. Again, sometimes you need to hire to be able to take over those responsibilities that you as the owner operator have been so used to doing. And if you're not paying market rate for your salary, how are you going to come up with the money to be able to do that? So who cares? So who cares if your business earns a profit? Well, I want to tell you that your customers care, your suppliers care, your banker cares, your staff care if you earn a profit, your community cares, and your family cares that you earn a profit. Why do your customers care if you earn a profit? Well, they have recurring service needs. If they've had you out once, they may need you again. What about warranty obligations? If you've performed a service that doesn't end the day that the service was completed, they want to know that you'll be there for years into the future to stand behind the warranties that you've offered. What about suppliers? Your suppliers care if you earn a profit. They want to continue to make sales to you, not just today, but for many years into the future. But not just those sales, they also want to make sure that you're going to pay for the sales that you've already had. If you have terms with any of those suppliers, they want to make sure their AR is in good hands. What about your banker? Well, we all know banks are risk adverse. And one of the best ways that they're able to manage that risk is by knowing that the businesses that they're lending to are profitable. And the greater the amount of profit that those businesses earn, the less risk the bank is exposed to. Why do your staff care if you earn a profit? Well, job security, advancement opportunities, workplace harmony. If your business is profitable, you have funds to be able to invest in the teams that you have that are working for you. And that helps to create an environment that people want to work in and be engaged in. Why is your community care if your business is profitable? Well, you provide a service to your community. The necessity of that service is important to the community. What about economic growth within the community or job creation? Or even just investing in the community. If you're not a profitable business, how are you going to have the funds to be able to invest in your community? Why does your family care if you earn a profit? Well, ultimately, quality family time is one of those things that we all seek. And if your business isn't profitable and isn't able to pay you for the time in your business, ultimately, what do we as business owners, as entrepreneurs do? We end up sinking more and more and more hours into the business just to stay alive. And that robs us of our family time. So ultimately, your family also wants you to be profitable. So at this point, I'm going to ask 3 critical questions here. What I'd like you to do is just think to yourself. You don't have to answer out loud, but think about what these responses might be for you. So in the last 12 months, has the cost of materials that you sell increased? Yes, no, or I'm not sure. Question number 2. In the last 12 months, has the hourly rate that you pay your staff increased? Yes, no, or I'm not sure. And question number 3, in the last 12 months, have the rates that you charge your clients increased? Yes, no, or I'm not sure. So what I want to tell you is, if your cost of materials have increased and you've not increased the rates that you charge your clients by at least the same amount, then your business is compromising its ability to deliver the quality service that your customers expect. This goes back to your business has a responsibility to be profitable. So what are some practical ways that your accounting system can make you money, help you become that profitable business? Well, number one, how do you know when it's the right time to increase your rates? There's a couple of practical examples here. Well, when the cost of materials have increased, or when the cost of your labor has increased. One helpful hint is running a monthly trend analysis on your gross profit will provide insight into the timing and magnitude of these cost increases. A second way, so how do you know how much your prices should increase? Well, knowing the amount to which your costs have increased will help you understand how much your prices should increase. Again, a helpful tip, if you run a monthly trend analysis, look at your cost as a percentage of revenue. This will help you understand how much that changes each month and how much you should increase. So the last way is just, growth plans, strategic investments, long-term planning. If you have a solid understanding of your monthly financials and a trend analysis on that, it can help you with planning for these things. So I'll just leave you all with, a couple of things you should expect out of your bookkeeper to help achieve this. Timely financial reporting is a must. Fixed monthly pricing is something they should offer. Timely communication. And of course, as we all do here, being professionally connected. Thank you for coming out today to hear my future presentation.
D&I starts now. Like everyone says it.
Are we all saying it? I'm confused
What are you
now.
saying now? Do we all say D&I?
Oh, terrible. Yeah.
Starts meow.
Meow. Do you want us to say D&I?
Say it more casually, like we're not trying to rehearse the most impossible phrase in the world.
Now.
D&I
starts now.
D&I
Starts now. What was the best one yet?